All right, hello and welcome to the start of a weekly Wednesday live show. We thought it would be a good idea to sync up with the weekly release date for the arena, so that's what we're gonna do. So let's kick this thing off and say hi to Ludgate.
Hey
How's it going,
everyone,
buddy?
it's going well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. New format for us. We're going on a Wednesday, so we got all the latest and greatest news, and I guess we got a little extra because we missed last week because we switched from the weekend to the Wednesday, so we kind of got a week and a half of stuff to smush in for all you guys. Hey Zan, how's it going? Good to have you on board. And the big news that just dropped was the Frozen events coming back, finally coming around, right?
Yeah, been greatly anticipated. People kind of didn't know what to expect because it was the only legendary one. So some people were expecting it to be a lot more time between reruns than the other
Yeah.
events. But no, it looks like it's back already, which is great.
Yeah, so hopefully and that's good in one way that it's back so soon, but maybe bad in that people are not quite prepared. I'm very lucky because what I believe last time the criteria for the Elsa level was star level 5, right? For all the characters that
Yes.
aren't Elsa.
That.
And look what I just got enough tokens for here for my Olaf. I don't know about anyone else, but in terms of drop rate for these frozen characters that we've been grinding, obviously Kristoff way more available through the exchange, and same with Anna. But Olaf and Sven, I took advantage of the two-time drops the first time around and got my Sven pretty close. But
Nice.
then Olaf has been really bad, like super slow, very hard grind, like full wax of energy spent and like maybe one or two tokens a day because it's I just pulled enough to get them up to 5, so I guess I need to throw a few um, bits of gear on them as well because um, I literally have been chilled about my Frozen. As you can see, Anna, to your probably dismay, still not unlocked, but sitting there with near enough tokens to go straight to 7 star. I think I need
Nice.
another 13 there. And same with, where is he now? Sven and Kristoff there, enough bar one to ramp them straight up to 7, but I didn't see any points seeing as I didn't know when the event was coming around, and Olaf is not quite there yet, but hopefully should at least be able to unlock Anna this time around. Hey John, so we will put a pin in that for a second and catch up with I guess last week's big release, which was the Moana event.
Yeah. Um, Last week was the fourth straight week where we got new characters. We got Moana and Maui, who look to be pretty good when used together. And it's a standard event type, grind to get Moana, and then once you have her unlocked, you can grind that up to get Maui tokens. So I've seen some early ones already, and they're formidable. They're not to be slept on.
Oh, nice. So, Oceanic coming along very nicely. Hey, Lonnie, how's it going? So live, right on the show here. This is why we do this on Wednesday. I didn't notice this in the release notes earlier, but apparently there's now a two-time character token going on. So just in time, if you were a little behind on your grinds there, you getting a chance at 2 times character tokens on all villain heroes and villains elite campaigns right there. So that could be useful. Yeah. So this Moana event, I don't think I've got that far in it because it requires Oceanic, right?
Yeah, it does.
So did they change the requirements? Because I was pretty sure I got up to the second level, Raf Rumble 2, and then I stalled out on 3, and then I looked either today or yesterday, and suddenly I was able to do Raf Rumble 3 as well. So I don't know if they adjusted the requirements at some point, or maybe
Um, I
I
didn't
accidentally upgraded a character.
I didn't hear anything about a change, to be honest.
Okay. So yeah, that's all I've really got. It's a really nice level. I mean, I especially like the little record player in the corner, pumping out tunes there. Um, but yeah, I think Cozy's been doing a ton of testing because didn't he go full ham on those? And
Oh, he's got
it's
Max
been
Maui already.
oh, all right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
he's wailing hard.
I think he's decided he's going to upgrade from being a kind of little dolphin to at
Yeah,
least a mini whale.
he's not
Because
a chubby dolphin anymore.
yeah.
He calls himself an orca, but he's gone full kraken.
So cozy Kraken now, I guess we're calling him. So yeah, that's the Moana event. And didn't he also whale out a little on the Stitch stuff? So he's got like a full crew Oceanic to mess around with.
Yeah, he's got all his Max as well.
All right. So he's gone heavily into Oceanic. And do we know if Oceanic challenges Frozen or the Old Kingdom meta at all? Or
He and a few other people I've talked to who have them up really high say very well. Another team takes a while to set up.
right?
However, a good, speedy Kingdom team can give them problems. So we'll see.
Okay. So yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll get round to this because that's kind of the subject of our top five, which we'll reveal in a bit. I've been holding out with my Kingdom team because I've had no other choice because I obviously don't have Frozen yet. And I've just been investing heavily in gear, like getting those guys up to as close to tier 7 as possible by sticking all those ridiculous tier 6 pieces on them. But it's been surprisingly good, especially since they changed the drop rates and the amount required to buy, which I think that happened at some point after, was it last week it happened? After last week's release day, that was part of it. You could get, I wonder if they put it in the news here or is it just on the Discord? Nope, just server maintenance. But yeah, the reduction in the exchange store has been really good
Sorry.
in terms
Yeah,
of.
they did have a news thing about that. That was that a couple weeks ago now? I think that might have been. Where is that?
Yeah, we lost track a little bit, I think, of which week's news. They
Oh, that's
dropped
right.
quite a lot, and
Last week had two update things, and that was the first. Very good. So yeah, that
yeah,
yeah, lowered some prices and added some stuff and added a heck of a lot of material challenges. Really good. If last challenge unlocked significant change, very noticeable.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah. The payouts have been nice.
that's been really good for getting geared up faster. And then they've made a couple changes this week as well.
All right, I think we're losing you there a little bit
Oh,
on your audio. I don't know if that's just me or it's going through, but I don't know if you can get a little closer to your mic or whatever is going on there.
probably my
Because we
Wi-Fi.
definitely want to hear what because we definitely want to hear what you got to say. Yeah, John's saying I'm finally ready to move on from my kingdom to oceanic. So it looks like John's going all in on these oceanics as well. I don't know, John, how are you doing on the frozen? Are you a bit behind in that? So yeah, these haven't really TS not really a big change, but obviously I'm real close. Like I said, I think from 50 up you need about 280, I think it is, to hit 7. And obviously with this guy over here, I literally just need one more. So I was probably just going to grind that out of an elite node just as I needed it. So yeah, there's been a nice reduction in the sort of in-game economy for gear. That's been nice. We've obviously been enjoying the Moana event, and I would assume Frozen next week, Wednesday, or whenever this goes out, because the release said not live yet. So I just guess that's what's coming.
Yeah, they always do that when they patch notes, and it usually means that it goes live a few hours after server midnight.
Right. So, okay. So, Moana's animation is really cool. Yeah, I mean that whole level and these characters. Obviously, Maui's been in there for a while as an enemy bot, but yeah, John's saying unlock Elsa, but at 5 star. I'm exactly the same. I should probably be able to just unlock Elsa, but I don't know. I'm gonna have a look at packs and see if I'm willing to a little all in. Depends how frustrated I get with my SC. But yeah, what else has been going on for you in the arena, Lud? It's Moana, the events, and anything else that I missed?
um, no, other than that, it's just stuff coming up. This week got the trial coming out. Highly anticipated one. That's the one that has like it's organic, which predicted that.
Just let me stop you there for 1 second, bud. You were definitely cutting in and out. Do you want to just try and exit out and come
Yeah,
back in? That might solve it.
yeah, gonna do that. Be right back.
Cool. So yeah, while Lud gets on with that, so yeah, probably the most important thing if you're grinding out is make sure you got at least enough tokens to get yourself to 5 star, so that you can at least unlock Elsa, because you want to be able to start playing around and getting used to that team, even if you can't max them out yet, because I have no clue how to use them personally. So let's see how he does
Hey, is this better?
so far, but that's one sentence. So
Okay,
give us again
we'll
what
keep going and see
give
how
us
it
again
goes.
what you were
Um,
give us again what you were just saying.
yeah, so it's talking about the new sorcerers trial that's gonna start soon. Probably over the weekend, like most of them have been. Meathead says that it'll be a wave of a good time. So sounding like it's gonna require Oceanics, which means
Yeah.
it's gonna be the Speedstone one, which is the one everyone's been waiting for, the one that
Mm-hmm.
we predicted here 3 months ago on this show. For those of you who've been paying attention, so
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're ready because you've had time. So there's that coming, the Frozen, and then the exchange changes, which are really going to help players that are closer to endgame. Just adding more gear to be available in there, and then adding gear to the token exchange, which is fantastic for people who've had a lot
Yeah.
of those
That,
tokens.
yeah. So that's definitely going to help the betas who have just like ridiculous amounts of stuff stored up.
Yes.
Um, yeah, you guys are just going to immediately ramp everything up to max. But
I'm
yeah, I mean, in a way,
I'm expecting it to be rather expensive to buy stuff there, which I don't have a
yeah.
problem with. I'm pretty sure they're just doing that to give us incentive to spend it all and not hoard it.
Yeah, they need to kind of make scarcity happen for currency. This is general rule of economics, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know if that's going to be good or bad for balance. You're obviously going to have people who have a little bit of an advantage just now, really just be able to ramp up those kind of T6 level gear.
I don't think it's going to make that big a difference. Like people say, the betas are a lot, have like a huge advantage, but there's really not that many betas that will have a lot of tokens saved up.
Right.
Like even in Titans and Wizards of Walter, like some of those like really older clubs, you're looking at probably a handful in each that are really going to profit from this. Other than that, it's going to
Mm,
be people who've been whaling since launch will have just as big an advantage. There's a lot of people that are launch
yeah.
players that have pretty much anyone who's farmable at 7 star have started accumulating all of these tokens, right? So it's not going to be just betas
Right.
this time. But it
Yeah.
is going to
So
widen the gap between those at the top and those who are casual players.
yeah, I mean, I've kind of run out of really good gem offers to do for the whole Tapjoy thing. Once you do the major ticket ones, there is one huge ticket one which would net me, about 20,000 gems, I think it was, which I might be doing because it's a service I probably would have done anyway. But that hasn't come around in a while. But as soon as that one does, I was hoping to cash in on that one. but so yeah, I've always pretty much been free to play. Um, but yeah, not having an extra cache of gems from like Tapjoy offers is definitely slowed my progress down, which isn't too bad since I maxed out at 60. But it does mean things like gear and
Hmm.
maybe being able to get a few packs from an event here and there. I'm literally going kind of burning the exact amount of crystals that I managed to get from the dailies, and they're gone the same day. So I kind of float around whatever mark I stopped at, which is about 2005. And I haven't seen anything that's tempted me to drop those on like any of the event packs or like a spell pack. So I'm just kind of hoarding them until maybe for this frozen event. We'll see how close I get to certain levels,
Fair enough.
and then we'll go from there.
If you
Yeah.
have if you have some
So,
gems extra to get to the next level of the Grandma Tala spell, it's looking to be really good. Just so you know.
ooh, new spell. Hmm. Is that any good if you don't have the Oceanics though, or is it generally a good spell?
It's looking to be just generally a good spell. It does have benefits if you're Oceanic. Hold on, I'm just I haven't been using it much yet because it's low level.
I don't even think
But
I've looked at it.
even if you're not Oceanic, you're healing a quarter of your maximum health on a character. So if you put that on a tank, that's a max level tank. You're looking at about 3,500 health healed, and if they have a health stone on them, it's even more, right?
Right.
Which is
Let's heal a target teammate for 25% of their maximum health.
yeah,
If in a tower, oh, so it has tower implications. Encounter, heal an additional one teammate who has the lowest current health for the same amount. Oh, nice. So there's tower bonuses to this. Which towers take Oceanic? Can't remember now because I've been stuck on 5 for a
Tower
while.
3 does, and Tower 5 does on
Yeah.
certain levels.
Yeah, because it's mixed in. So, okay. So yeah, I don't think I'm anywhere near. I kind of not lost interest, but my focus on what I was working on has not been congruent to clearing Tower 5 yet. So that's just kind of in the background for me while I've been working on getting Frozen in position. So I guess that's paid off. So yeah, new spell. I guess we'll see where that ends up in tier lists eventually once it starts getting into the game. Um, so yeah, any other burning news coming our way, or have we covered most of the
Nope.
release for Wednesday?
Yep, that's it for the news for this week. So it's a quiet week compared to
There,
the last few ones.
yeah, it kind of does feel like it. Even though there's some big news in there in terms of the Frozen, and we've had some pretty big characters come into the game in the last couple of weeks. It does seem a lot calmer.
Yes.
I can get on with my grind nicely and enjoy the modes and start, play with these new levels and characters. Um, So speaking of characters, actually, I just need a second to pull this up because I forgot to do it. So the top 5 list it's going to be this week is from the exchange. It's going to be the Sorcerer's Tournament exchange, and once you are done with your obvious meta kind of characters out of that list, which formerly used to be the exclusives, so that would have been what Hades,
It
was Mordu.
was Mordu, Merlin was, and Shen Yu was.
Yeah, and currently I think it's now Merlin and Horn King are the only
Oh
two.
yeah, Horn King was as well. I forget about him sometimes.
Yeah. Uh, um, so let me see. So yeah. So there we go. It is the characters to farm from the SD Exchange once you have burnt those. So if you've been in the arena a while, you got yourself some great exclusives from the exchange store, and obvious characters like Hades and Shan Yu have been the meta and great for all modes. And with these, I hope you guys have managed to climb the ranks in ST and got yourself some sweet, sweet Sorcerer's Tournament tokens. But who should you use those tokens to invest in next is what we have going on today. And that is going to be at number 5. It's going to be. Why can't I get the guy to come up? There we go. Is Big Bad Wolf, which for me I think was the first one I targeted. So this is Lud put this together for us. Thank you for that. So why Big Bad Wolf at number 5?
While he is a little bit on the slow side, he does put out a huge amount of damage. And at the same time, he's very useful in 2 events. The Zerg event, which comes around every once in a while, and the Scrooge's Money Bin event, which gets you a lot of gold.
Yeah.
So between those 2, and just his damage output, like you wouldn't use him in an elite team anymore, but he is great for a second team for Conquest. He's great for events. And until they fix a bug that he has, he puts out ridiculous amounts of damage once he gets the turn.
Yeah, I mean, he is still holding solid in my SD team because I think at whatever point, I guess now is the time to pull the trigger on my Ana. Maybe replace him for Honor in my Kingdom team because it's the pure damage, and there's quite a few people using him still in my top 20. So yeah, and just for all modes in the game and all those events, if you were going to compensate for all the speed around, then just brute force was the way to go at the time I started the game, and it kind of still holds true, at least for clearing other modes in the game. In terms of PvP, yeah, maybe he's dropped down a little.
But he's great for
But
tower,
yeah,
though. He's great for any PvE
yeah,
mode. He works really well still.
yeah. Anything that you're tired of and you just want to blam through and hit auto, obviously anything with an AoE. So like my whole thing at the beginning was mass damage AoEs. So you would just have like 3 or 4 characters just like in a row, blam everything. And especially if you've got waves, and if you've got characters that can literally like one move, one wave gone, you can auto through something real quick.
Yeah.
What's Zan saying? What's the bug? Is there a bug?
Yeah, his AoE move, which is supposed to do a straight amount of damage per person, it has a bonus damage for hero characters. Hold on, I'm just pulling him up really quickly here in my game. I've lost him. I took a stone off him. I can't find him anymore. There he is. Sorry. So he does. Where is it? Oh yeah. So his passive deals extra damage against hero characters, right? But it's currently bugged in a certain way that if there's multiple hero characters, the first one it hits gets the bonus damage, and then the second one it hits gets double the bonus damage, and then the third one it hits gets triple the bonus damage. So if you're hitting an all-hero team with 5 heroes, that last one, instead of just getting 125% of the normal damage he would do, he's getting 225% of the normal damage he'd do.
Oh, so it's stacking itself, and
it's
not intended to work like that.
It is definitely not intended to work that way, but it's very nice against heroes.
That may explain the devastation I've been wreaking with him, and keeping me up there in the top 20. So yeah, he's been doing really well, and I think John's saying, Lonnie typing in the word, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?" He's great versus hero teams. That's exactly what John was saying. Probably because of that bug.
Yeah.
And John saying he also, I throw out my Raja and he destroys my Shan Yu. Oh yeah, I guess Raja counts as a hero.
He does.
So then it stacks again.
Yeah.
So okay, that might. Hang on. No, I was gonna say it might explain why I get destroyed, but most of my team is villains, so that probably doesn't hold up. I'm probably just outmatched with all the stones and gear. So yeah, Lonnie, that is crazy, but to your benefit. So there you go, a really good investment for all round utility in the game. Especially with that bug there if you're coming up against hero events. So that's perfect. So from number 5, we'll go to number 4, which pretty sure everyone had to start out with Ariel, the Little Mermaid. So why Ariel?
There's a lot of newer game modes are taking Oceanic, which was highly neglected before. So she's good in that. So you can use her in the trial that's coming up, which is going to be very important because everyone wants to get those speed stones. They're going to be critical. But also, they mentioned, when I say they, I mean the devs, they mentioned a few months ago now that they're looking into healers and making them better. So,
Hmm.
and Ariel is the best healer, the best active healer in the game.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Facilier is a great passive healer, but Ariel's kit is actually really good. And if they do make healing viable, like they said that they're looking into do, she is suddenly going to become a really, really good character. Like she's already great for PvE as it is, but that will just like push her to near not the top, but definitely into like the very good area.
Hmm. Yeah, and her special hits pretty hard too.
It does, and
Um,
it purges buffs, which is
yeah,
fantastic.
it's one of the few purges left in the game that isn't a spell because obviously foul play, stop being able to take away taunt,
Yeah.
and a couple others. So it's literally, well, as far as I know, it's the only thing that I have access to that I can strip a taunt with.
The
Um,
only thing that she's got going against her is that she's slow. But if you've got Hero and you're running an Oceanics team, like if there are better Oceanics to get if you have been whaling. But if you're going just like a casual or a free to play and you're grinding out these characters, you probably aren't going to have Moana and Maui and Bubbles really high. But you can get Ariel
hmm,
really strong. And in
yeah.
if you've got Hero and that Oceanics team, you can manipulate the turn order and give her more turns. And she can do some real damage. She's very good to use strategically.
Yeah, I think I've been using her to help me get through certain levels in Tower 5.
Definitely.
Yeah, and she's kept some teams that I've challenged in that alive a lot longer than they should be able to go, just because of her healing. And I don't know what it was doing, but I was using her in, I think it was a tower, and for some reason she just kept going again and again, and I'm not sure what mechanic that was or if that was a bug. But I definitely got some extra speed from somewhere on her.
Nice.
Either that or the characters I was facing were really slow. But yeah, used in the right situation, she's pretty situational at the moment. But that would be really good once they, because healers have pretty much become irrelevant, right? Um, Especially since
Yeah.
things like Incredibles.
For the most part, they are.
Yeah,
Mainly
at
because
least for PvP.
mainly because they can't heal more than an attack would do in damage. So it makes more sense to bring an attacking character to take off 5,000 than it would be to have a healer that heals 3, right?
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
they make
So,
healing viable,
hmm,
she's the candidate to get the most benefit from that, in my opinion.
yeah. So I mean, how are they gonna?
They'd
I'm assuming.
they'd
Well,
up the
I would in.
rates.
Yeah, it's either got to be up the rates or maybe it's percentage based rather than, based on a specific amount or what, because obviously every character is going to be slightly different. Like tactically, that would be the only way to bring it in where it kind of makes theory crafting a little easier. If it's percentage based per character, then you can, it's going to be different for different comps.
Right.
Um,
That would work.
yeah, so
And
yeah,
with Grammatella being percentage based, maybe they are going that way. Maybe that's a sign.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So maybe they're sneaking that in to see if it works and doesn't kind of break the game in terms of depending on who you use it, or you get stuck in an endless loop that you can't get around. So Lonnie's saying 15 or 25% health for each tune. Um, yeah, I mean that's a decent amount. Because even like Rafiki and Simba, I mean I've got them low level, but the amount that it's based on their health. So um, yeah, that be very interested to see what comes gameplay wise and strategy wise once a decent healing, because otherwise that's just an area of the game that's just kind of gone, and it's just all. I mean, usually in these kind of games, it's always down to speed. But if we can actually get some something else besides just pure power and pure speed to mix it up there, that'll definitely open up a lot of avenues for gameplay in terms of PvP. So it's a really good pick on number 4. And John says he is currently farming Ariel in the tournament exchange. So he is on it right there. So from our number 4, head up to number 3, which is Merlin right here. So support character, and from what I've seen, mostly kind of overlooked. But why is he your number 3 pick?
Yeah, he's overlooked because it's actually hard to get a lot of tokens for, because you can only get them from the exchange, and I think he's in some of the packs. But he has a really unique kit. Well, at least it was unique. It's starting to become a little more popular. But the fact that he can give magic to other characters, meaning that you can get your strongest characters to have their special abilities much more often. And then he's also got a stun that comes with it. He's very versatile. He's very underrated and overlooked, but he's the theory crafters love him because there's so much you can do with him.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I saw a lot of kind of comments and maybe even a few videos, probably SHD, saying that Merlin, if you use him, if you know how to use him correctly,
Yes,
is really good. But the problem was, like you said, is accessibility, and with having to grind out certain amounts of meta characters or chasing things, he's not high priority.
He's not high priority, but just if you examples like Shen Yu or Zerg, who, if you have your team set up right, you can get Shen Yu and Zerg to have 2 turns on their first turn right away. Because they both have an ability where if they kill someone with it, they get an extra turn. But then if you throw Merlin in there, and you can get Shen Yu to do his headbutt again on like the second time he comes around, so you can get like 4 attacks out of him in 2 turns, essentially. And you can do the same thing with Zerg with his Zerg vision. Those 2 characters hit really hard, and if you have them going 4 times in 2 turns, that's a huge amount of damage that you're putting out. So just things like that, right? Or even having Hero do his shields more often, having Bubbles do his silence more often. Like, Merlin's the facilitator in a lot of theory crafted teams.
Right. Yeah. So definitely probably the best support in the game, if you know how to use him, and you can. Does he need to be starred up a lot to be useful? Is he squishy or?
Yeah, he's got like the standard health for a support character, so he'll max out in the 16,000 range.
Right.
Not especially squishy, but not especially tanky either.
Okay. So kind of average. So you do kind of need him ramped up to be truly effective in,
you need
in a
him
PvP situation.
You need him around the same level as the rest of your characters.
Right. So okay. And obviously has the added benefit of being a mythical in terms of those requirements for for at least Sorcerer's Stones now.
For Sorcerer's Stones, for the Stitch Tower. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and obviously for regular towers as well. Yeah, because that's what I think I'm lacking there.
I used him in Tower 5 today, actually.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes it, because you do it every day, right?
I do it every day, yeah. And I try out different combinations when I can. And I was using him to refresh Dash's kicks today, so Dash was dodging everything because he constantly had 10 charges. It was great.
Nice. So yeah, I guess that's one way to make it fun for you, when you can mess around and play around with Merlin's kit. So that's great. And obviously a mythical, which you're going to need for a whole bunch of different challenges and events. So there we have it. Merlin at number 3. Moving on to number 2 on the list, we have Dr. Facilier, who we mentioned in terms of the healers just now. So why is the doc number 2 for you on this list?
Similar to Ariel with the healing, he's a fantastic healer, especially in any PvE mode, because we tend to have a lot more enemies, but they're weaker enemies. But his passive doesn't care how strong an enemy it is, right? Something dies, and he heals your team. And then also for the same reason why you'd want to get Big Bad Wolf. Facilier doesn't put out a lot of damage, but he's another downtown villain, so he's very useful for getting Zerg. He's very useful for getting gold from the Scrooge's money bin. And then other than that, he actually has really, really good control because he has a polymorph that comes around pretty often. He can make one of your characters taunt. So if you could control a little bit like who your enemy attacks. But then just even his basic, he has a 33% chance to charm with his basic. And if you shadow him, the shadow gets the healing benefit, and the shadow has the same basic as him. So his shadow can charm people, which he's the only character whose shadow can charm. So he's got fantastic control. He's just really good. I've even seen him in like Frozen teams.
Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of different comps. He just pops up, and you're right. It's that charm thing. He is very annoying
It's
in those terms.
Yeah, it's the charm,
Yeah,
the healing, just the overall just controlling the battle. So he's really good. He's one of the best at controlling the battle that way.
yeah. What category is he?
He's listed as an offense, but he has the statistics of a support character. I think he's just mislabeled.
Yeah, he pretty much operates as a support,
Because
and
he only has one ability that does damage. So he's a support
yeah,
that just happens to have an offense tag for some reason.
yeah, because I don't really fear getting hit by him. It's all those things that he inflicts on the opposing team, especially getting turned into a frog, which is a great animation, but it's super annoying,
It is.
especially if he turns like one of your heavy hitters. Like you got Chen Yu, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna release that beast, and then oh, okay, little frog tongue lick and one. He literally, I love the fact it's insulting that that little one comes up because that's all the damage you can do as a frog. Um, yeah, Lonnie's big into the music quotes tonight, so he's got friends on the other side. I do love that. That is one of the best parts of that show we were talking about in Disneyland Paris. They do an amazing um, section with pyros and all kinds of cool effects to that song on that Dreams. So yeah, if you didn't catch that last week, we were talking about the Disneyland Paris show called Dreams. Go look that up after the show because that is awesome. And there's a great Dr. Facilier section in that. Okay. And otherwise, faction, well, origin wise, what does he classify as?
He is a downtown villain as well, so he's good for the gold and
Yeah.
he's good for Zerg. Yeah.
Yeah, I think those are the ones I'm working on to get to the max tier of for Zerg and especially for all that gold, along with my big bad wolf. So yeah, big combo of evil villains who can hit hard and just inflict you with a whole bunch of nasty stuff. That's a good pick there. So I don't know if anyone in the chat has any guesses as to the number one pick here. Just before we move on to that, I know John's working on Ariel. Maybe Lonnie, what are you working on out of your S tier? Have you got everything maxed out pretty much? Or anyone else in the chat, drop it in there and let us know what you are working on. And this might persuade me now to start working on this character because I'm kind of in that position where I've got my Hades. Oh yeah, Anna. Obviously, Anna goes into that category as well. But once you got those taken care of, I mean, I because we did those lists. Um, she's working on AR. Oh, Ariel. I was like, who's ARW? Um, yeah. Yeah. I started turning towards because I was just about to be maxed out on the amount of tokens I need for Anna. I was starting to work on anger because we were talking about
Oh
that
yeah.
team maybe coming. Now, I don't think that's gonna be a priority for them to get in the game. Who knows? It might be, but that would be an awesome team. And then you're definitely probably gonna need the one inside out character that is already in the game.
I would
So I
expect
was
so, yeah.
thinking about that. Yeah, but like I said, utility wise and for any use for right now, I don't know how great that's going to be. It's just a future prediction thing that I was leaning towards. But nope, your pick number one right here. Um, Madam Mim. And again, I was kind of eyeing her up mostly because that's another mythical, and she's not an exclusive. Therefore, she's like in that 6,000 token range rather than the expensive range for, let's say, Merlin.
Exactly.
So yeah, exactly. So maybe that's why one of the reasons you put her at number one. But what are the other reasons that Madam Mim tops the list this week of characters to farm once you're done with all the exclusives?
Well, similar to how Dr. Facilier has benefits of some of the other characters lower on the top five, so does Madame Mim. Okay, like you mentioned, she's a mythical, kind of like Merlin. So she's going to help you with the Stitch Tower and that stone challenge, not the challenge, sorcerer trial. Sorry, but
Hmm.
also she has a purge like Ariel does that will purge all helpful effects. Now it
Ah.
doesn't do as much damage as Ariel's, but Mim is significantly faster than Ariel. Ariel's top speed is 91, whereas Mim's is 111. So she's going to get turns a lot more
Ooh.
often. She's going to get that purge available much quicker to you than if you're using Ariel.
Okay.
And then
So,
her other special ability is an AoE, but it also spreads negative effects to adjacent characters from the target. So she's like a get rid of buffs and spread around debuffs character. She's really good for that. Plus, she's offensive, so she tends to hit harder than most of the other characters on this list, except for Big Bad Wolf.
right. Yeah, pretty much. No one really hits harder than Big Bad Wolf besides like Shanyu and a maxed out Hades. So, um, yeah, that's and I guess if you do the club dungeon, she's usually there at the last couple of dungeons. That snake thing hits pretty hard. Oh, and she's in the tower as well. She's about
Yes,
I want to say like
for
around six or
six, I
seven.
think six.
Yeah, six. Yeah, and yeah, if you don't get a good run of RNG on the turn meter when you get to that level, yeah, she can take you out pretty quick with that snake special.
Yeah, and
Um,
her purge does bonus damage for each helpful effect on the target. So I mean, it can hit hard. It's not quite as
mm,
strong as Ariel's.
yeah, that's a nice mechanic though. So like the better off you are with all your helpful effects, the more damage you can potentially take from her. So it's a good counter in that sense. So that's a really good tip there. So yeah, I was leaning towards her because I think obviously I'm gonna be able to get another mythical up to higher star level quicker than I'm gonna get Merlin. I don't know. I have quite a few tokens. I might be able to do them both at the same time.
Nice.
But yeah, grapefruit was saying, don't forget Jangles is also Inside Out. Yeah, I think I was probably thinking more along the lines of what the event might be, and obviously to get a full team of all the emotions in there. I don't know. Have they done a event where you use villain characters to access hero characters in an event? It's usually the other way around,
No, they
isn't it?
haven't.
You use so usually you use Aladdin and stuff like that to get Jafar, but I
Yes,
don't think there's been one where you use villains to gain access to the
there
hero
hasn't
chase
been
character in
yet.
an event.
The
Yeah,
only events that have required villains have been the one for Zerg, and yeah, you're getting a villain out of that. Oh,
yeah,
and the Toy Story 3 event. Sorry, I always forget about that one. That one you use villains as well.
yeah. What do you mean the Toy Story villain event or the just the Bo Peep villain?
No, the Toy Story 3 one. So the one with Chunk and
Oh yeah,
Big
Toy Story
Baby
3.
and Lotso. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you needed Toy Story heroes because obviously they don't have enough Toy Story villains in the game. So yeah, but yep, he's right. There is another Inside Out character in the form of Jangles, which also I guess is worth mentioning in terms of this list because he is also in the shop there. Let's see if
He's
we
not great
go
though.
to. He's not, but
Heck, he has his
I think when we
uses,
first,
but eh.
yeah, when we first started doing this show, I think we talked a lot about how I keep seeing him in the top 20 of my ST, mostly because he's just an annoying tank at the time. I think he's been slightly negated by things like Frozen and the Incredibles recently. But on the plus side, does qualify as a downtown villain for those events,
Yes,
and he's
definitely.
easily accessible. So he's cheap to kind of get up to speed for. I can't find him now. Where is he gone? Oh, there he is. So yeah, mine's around level 40. I'm not sure why I took him that far. Probably to get through all the events that require downtown villain. But as you see, I kind of stalled out on him right there. 24 of 25. I think my option for better downtown villains came along, and I'm not sure why I haven't been working on those. But obviously, probably because of things like Incredibles and Frozen, so turned my attention to other things. But yeah, he's in there. Who else did we miss out from that list then? That might be useful. Honorable mentions, I guess. I guess we're lumping in Anna as one of the kind of well, not exclusives, but sort of the obvious main
On
characters that you would go
Yeah,
for.
Anna, you have to get. She should be your first
Yeah,
target out of that exchange for sure. Um,
yeah,
Honorable mentions out of there, I would say Mordu. He was
hmm,
really highly rated before, but just as far as tanks go, there have been so many more better tanks come out lately that he's really fallen off. Like, he's still good if you have him, but I don't know if I'd go out of my way to farm him a lot if you don't. Um,
yeah,
Other than that, I would say probably Hades. Hades is still really good for damage. The reason I kept him off of the list, like he is mythical, he's just really expensive to put gear on, and everyone is
yeah.
feeling
It's
the
always
gear
been.
crunch right now. So I'm starting to shy away from recommending Hades just for that reason, because he's not top tier damage anymore like he was when the game first came out globally.
Yeah,
Um, to me, I feel that his gear requirements are a little out of sync with how good he is now.
yeah. I'd say. I mean, I got caught out because obviously I needed a. Like I said, it's very shard dependent, and at the time, no one was using Mortar, so I held off for the longest time. But then it started creeping in, and I figured I needed him. Um, the teams I'm getting stuck against, one of them is actually just put a an attack stone on Mordu, and I can't get past it a lot because he just taunts and then he retaliates and just takes you out. And I'm not that far off power wise, so it seems like a pretty good tactic. What I will show you, like as seeing as we're talking about ST, is I know you're saying that his requirements are out of whack, but if I show you the guy in my ST who is number one, and it seems to be perma number one and always was. I think there was a while there where a few of these guys would knock him off, but he would just immediately reclaim it. If you look at his team, um, Hades, Mordu, it's what we were saying. It's going to be a mixed bag. It's going to be hybrid teams, and you can't get more hybrid than that. There's literally, apart from the Frozen sisters, there's literally not a single connection between any of these characters here. You've got Honor and Elsa, and then you've got Hades maxed. I'm going to assume at tier 7, uh, all with stones, full stones on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just raw power, and he's still using Splash Mountain. So even though that was less effective, I guess in terms of um, if you have the resources to put full tier 7 on all of them, then Hades and Mordu are still going to give you some mileage, even in the era of Frozen, because I'm pretty sure this guy has access to all the Frozen characters, and he might not have got them all up
Well,
to 7, but
yeah, like, so Lyra has a maxed Elsa, so she obviously has all 7 stars for all the Frozen characters.
yeah,
I doubt that she
yeah,
put gear on them all
yeah.
because she doesn't
That's
have Anna done, and Anna should be a priority. I would do Anna
right.
before Hades for tier 7 myself, but I mean, it still works well that way. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it,
mean
it looks pretty daunting.
that team is just raw power, so you're gonna have to go
Mm.
in with strong power and then um, a way to control them with either charms or sleeps or things like that. Like if you have a fairy slumber, a good fairy slumber can slow that team right down.
Yeah, because I don't often look at it because I'm just nowhere near it. But when I do look at it, it's basically to figure out what direction I should be heading because
Mm,
I'm obviously locked into my kingdom, and I'm even this go around I'm gonna get Elsa, but I'm not gonna have her at the rate that everyone else up here does.
right.
And yeah, Lyra just seems to just sit there. I don't think I've gone to go check what she's using and not seen her at number one. So yeah, I'm floating around this kind of area. Ooh, have I been knocked down? Ooh, where am I now? Oh, there I am. So yeah, I'm 16th. I can normally crawl my way to like maybe 12, 11, depending on who's taken that spot. Then yeah, I just run into a wall of frozen slash dash teams, and that's it. But yeah, like I said, there's some creative ones and Mordu with a whole bunch of stones on him,
Mm,
still proving to hold out pretty good. And obviously, for the reasons we just explained, can't really recommend Hades that much, but I'm kind of on that train now. Although I don't know if I can hold out at that kind of level and not drop, because I've noticed since I put my defense in, um, as you can see, I got quite a lot of green flags here from the people trying to knock me out the top 20, and
nice.
I'm perfectly happy to just sit in this teens range because that's pretty much where I've always sat because I've always run into the wall at top 10. So yeah, so what are you guys working on out there? What does your ST look like? Did the list help? Um, yeah, I think I'm probably leaning towards probably Madam Mim. Then I'll take your number one pick just because it's a mythical I can get ramped up real quick. But yeah, if I can stretch these tokens out,
That's a
um,
good number of defenses
I,
there.
yeah, yeah, I've been pretty happy since I set. Let's see. This is what I said as my defense. It's not quite. I don't really use Mordu climbing up. Um, but since I put Mordu in and I got my Aladdin up, I guess I'm the next thing as I'm working on my Jasmine. But that's kind of a slow burn because everything's been going towards Frozen. But now that the ones that are on elite nodes from Frozen are maxed in terms of the amount of tokens, then everything I don't spend on grinding gear goes towards getting the Jasmine tokens per day.
Nice,
Um, yeah, I unfortunately caught that wrong wave of I just maxed out Mordu, and then they released that whole Aladdin update.
of course.
But yeah, of course, that's how it goes. But yeah, so that's what I'm working with. That's why I haven't touched my Frozen yet. And it's now a question of how long can I make these guys hold out with what they have versus saving it for throwing on the Frozen crew. And I'm nowhere near in terms of Incredibles either. So
The Incredibles
I'm
are
not getting.
they're a hard one to get up there because you have to start with Elastigirl
Hmm.
and you need to get her to a good level to get Mr. Ink to a good level to be able to get Violet, and then yeah, that one's slow going compared to some of the other
Yeah,
events.
exactly. You can't grind any of them outside of Elastigirl, outside of the event. I don't think they
Exactly.
haven't put any of them on. So yeah, in terms of getting Dash, so even if I do get Frozen Crew, then most people using Frozen are using Dash as well.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm kind of stuck between because I'm not spending and uh, I don't know which event's gonna come next. I didn't know when Frozen was coming back around. So it's like a case of all right, just keep pouring it into those guys because as you can see, Lyra's at the top there, and she's holding out with just maxed out Hades and Shan Yu. So that may be the direction I head, and then after that, I guess we'll be on maybe our fourth go around of Frozen, and I'll get there. Um, but yeah, what are you rocking these days in terms of your ST team?
So mine is Shanyu, Anna, Sorcerer Mickey, Aladdin, and Dash. So
Okay,
that's
so you've got your dash.
yeah, that's been my attack team. My defense team's a little different. I don't have Dash in it. I just changed my defense team for the first time today in a long time, and I went for
Hmm.
the tech team. So I've got Gizmo Duck, Darkwing, Scrooge, Cora, and Hero. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and I've been getting some defenses today, so Hopefully it's working. We'll see. We'll give it a few more days and see how it goes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, sometimes you do that. You get a new kind of thing and you realize it works and you get happy about having a few defenses and you realize it's just because people haven't figured out how to get around it yet because it's so unusual.
That
Um,
might be it. Like I just finished my Gizmo deck today, so I figured that I'd give him a try, and that was a good team
yeah,
that suits
but
him. So
hmm,
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yeah, it's worth a shot. So yeah, I think that covers all the news. We did our little top list this week, and I'm about to max out there. So um, let's see, because I said it was really bad. So let's see if the live show gives me any help in terms of luck. So let's go and see if this works any better. Because I got a okay. This is a full charge of energy, or at least as much as you can divide by that. That'll let me and let's see. Okay, I got four. That may be one of the best pulls I've had. But yeah, so far over the last month or so, that's been like one or two, occasional three, and yeah. Okay, so live show. Thanks a lot. That helped.
You
Got a
should
little
do it
luck
on the
there.
live show more often.
Oh yeah, but all right. Well, then you just have to we have to do a live show every day now, just so I can pull OLF shards. So we'll do like the some podcasts they do like they call them bite-sized episodes.
There you
So
go.
Um, I'll see you here tomorrow at 8:30, and we'll literally just do a 5 minute bite size where we see if I can pull better
Just so you can
left
farm
shards.
Olaf.
Yeah, it's too bad that is Grand Campaign and not in the two times things because all the elite nodes that I need the rest of the Frozen crew off are maxed. So yeah. So what are you looking? You where were you with Frozen? I can't remember.
I'm
Did you have them
I'm
close to?
still farming Olaf and Kristoff. I'm done Sven. I'm done Anna. But those two, I need to get the last couple stars on them before the end of the Frozen event, so I can get my 7-star also.
Right. So you weren't maxed, so you
No,
still got stuff to do.
I do. I
But
do.
you sound like you're pretty well prepared for that. Lonnie's asking every day. Well, if if you want to see a daily bite-sized show, Lonnie, then let us know. We'll see. We'll have to discuss it, I guess. But I'm pretty sure I can spend 5 minutes a day to do it because I'm obviously just gonna be doing it anyway. So yeah, I think it obviously takes a little more time to set up a live stream and whatever. But that would be a good way to kind of track drop rates if someone wanted to aggregate them all for us off the videos. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty well positioned to at least get my unlock of Anna. Hopefully you guys are going to be doing well for that too. I haven't really done much on this Moana thing, so I don't think that's in the cards for me anytime soon. But like I said, focus has been on Frozen, so hopefully that drops. When did you predict that would drop? It's after they, because we've only got
Um,
one event going right now.
that all this stuff should be visible in the game at midnight server time. So in
Yeah,
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
No, no,
So
no. Sorry,
yeah.
5.5 hours.
Uh, oh yeah, I guess it depends where in the world
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're at. So
5.5 hours.
so
Midnight server time, not my time.
yeah. What is server time? It's based on what?
It's Pacific. So the
It is Pacific.
yeah,
Okay.
the studio is in San Francisco, so the server goes off San Francisco time.
Okay, that makes sense. That's gonna be good for me when I finally get home.
You
For
will
those of
be.
you who've been following that, yeah, for those of you following my saga of being trapped in the UK, it seems like it's over, and we are now planning our escape. It's not that bad. The UK is pretty cool. I used to live here. But yeah, we are super keen to get home at this point, and now it is just a case of picking out a prime time to avoid as many people as possible on that journey home. Lonnie's saying 3 a.m. is the server reset for me. Oh, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So Lonnie is in Eastern time, like us, or
yeah.
like me, I should say.
So yeah, so yeah. I think that's it. we are gonna probably keep up this Wednesday thing now, so this will be our regular slot for all you regulars. Thanks for switching with us and keeping up with our schedule change. We're thinking, because obviously for some of our hosts that can't do this kind of time slot during the week, especially Danny, we've been missing her from the show. Unfortunately, she can only do weekends, and her availability on the weekends is a bit random. But as and when Danny can do a show, we're thinking we'll try and throw in a bonus show on the weekends to catch Danny. Otherwise, we might try and have to bug her to kind of maybe do a pre-recorded segment or something because we miss her from the show.
Well,
I know you guys
that's a
do too.
possibility.
Yeah, we'll
I'll talk
see.
to her about it.
Yeah, because I know you guys talk about a lot of stuff anyway, so possibility that maybe you could just record it and we'll throw it up there just to get some Daniness into the show again. Um, so hopefully we can catch her sometime soon. If not, like I said, we're going to be here on Wednesdays now as our regular thing. Definitely me and Lud as always, and then hopefully we'll get Mint Chalk Chip back in here again. I know he just couldn't make it today, but I'm sure he'll possibly be able to make it now that we're kind of setting up a regular schedule and we know where we're at. Until then, anything else you want to add, Lud?
No, I'm pretty good. I hope everyone enjoys the downtime from the new characters because I think we're probably going to get some next week now.
Yeah. Any idea what that might be?
No idea. Lots of conjecture, but there's no definitive clues in one way or another.
Why do we think they're going to drop more characters on us after all this stuff that's been coming?
I don't think they've gone more than 2 weeks in a row without new characters. Does that sound right?
It didn't, doesn't feel like that, but it probably is right. I
The
mean,
other the other thing too is once the Maui event ends, the only thing that's been going to be going on is Frozen, which isn't really an event in this traditional sense. You're not doing event levels every day. It's more
yeah,
grind up your heroes and
one
then
and
do one level once and then that's it, right?
yeah, it's the one and done event, isn't it?
So we're gonna have a few days of not really doing event missions every day. So I think that's a good time for them to drop an event. And if they're gonna do that, it'll probably be something new, just to get
Right.
everyone excited about it.
Yeah, and if I'm lucky, it'll be Inside Out, but we'll see.
Nobody knows. They tend to surprise us.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I think I could use a break. I just want to work on what I got right now. Yeah, the whole temptation for split focus on all these things. So that's probably why I didn't go too hard on all this cool oceanic. But it does seem to be going in a theme. You got all the oceanic stuff with Stitch, and then we got all the oceanic stuff with Moana.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any left in the game that's oceanic that they haven't filled out yet?
They could always add Peter Pan.
Yeah, the Peter Pan. Would Peter Pan doesn't really count as oceanic, does he? Though. I mean,
Um, Captain Hook and Tinkerbell are from that franchise, and they're listed as oceanic. So
oh, I don't know why I thought Tinkerbell was mythical.
she could have been.
Yeah.
Right, there's a few characters that they have in the game that you could argue for another class. I mean, Genie's one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that would be mythical too? Um, fair enough. But yeah, so maybe some more oceanic, or maybe they'll switch it up, and we'll move on to the next thing. Because this Speedstone trial that's going to be oceanic as well, from what we can guess.
Yeah.
Lonnie saying Peter lives on an island. He's oceanic by default.
Well, there you go.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. And on that note, I think we'll call it because I don't really have a comeback for that, and she is right. So there you go. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and we will possibly see you on the weekend. Otherwise, we will see you next week for, what do you call it? Release day, drop day? It's your favorite day of the week?
It is my favorite day. We'll just call it Patch Note Day or Patch Day.
Patch Note Day. There you go. So we'll see you next week for Lud's favorite day of the week, and until then, we will see you all real soon.